Are you interested in what kind of lakes there are around Gig Harbor and the freshwater activities that go along with those? If so, then watch this video. Hey everybody, my name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor and welcome to Living in Gig Harbor, Washington. Hey, I'm doing this video from my home office today. It's kind of a little unusual for me. I usually do it elsewhere, but here we are today. And today's video is going to be about the lakes that are here in Gig Harbor and right around Gig Harbor. There's not too many of them, so it won't be a super long video, but there's a few and some activities that are offered at some that aren't offered at others and things like that. So anyway, hey, really quick, all my information is right there. So if you have any questions about this topic or anything else on any of my other videos, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can get all of my videos. And let's get started. Let's talk about the lakes here in Gig Harbor. Okay, so first up, let's talk about Sylvia Lake. And Sylvia Lake is just a small little lake. It's about 3 miles west of downtown Gig Harbor. And it is a slow motor only, like you can have a trolling motor. They stock it with rainbow trout, so if you're into fishing, it's pretty cool for that. There is a public boat launch right there at the little park for it, so it's open to the public to use, and of course people paddleboard and kayak and things like that. No water skiing, it's no fast motors or anything like that, strictly a trolling lake. A lot of little residential homes in and around the lake, not in the lake, you know what I mean, on the waterfront and then around the area, and there's some hiking trails and things like that. It's a quaint little spot. It's actually really cool. I've sold a number of houses around it, and it's just kind of a peaceful setting that's just outside the city, but still close enough to everything to go shopping and all the stuff that goes along with what you need for everyday life. So I'm gonna show the map of where Sylvia Lake sits as compared to Gig Harbor, downtown Gig Harbor. So you can see that it's over kind of in the, right between, like right on the border of Artendale, Rosedale type area. So just the west side of Gig Harbor. It's only a couple miles from Copachet State Park, which is a great park right there on the Puget Sound with, there's camping there and hiking and just a really cool nature spot. So it's close to everything. I had another point about this, and again, I'm going to pop up some pictures of the lakes that we're doing here. So this is one also right now. So you can see that there's an actual park on Sylvia Lake here where you could, picnic and there's no overnight camping or anything like that, but you could spend the day and have your paddle boards and things right there next to the water, or your little trolling boat and go out and fishing and things like that. So there's a nice big flat grass area right there on what's actually the east side of the lake looking west, so great for sunsets and things like that. So anyway, that's the first lake that we're talking about, Sylvia Lake, right here at Gig Harbor. It's only 3 miles west of downtown itself. All right, the second lake that we're gonna talk about is one that I'm probably most attracted to because of the activities that I enjoy doing. But this is Crescent Lake. So Crescent Lake is located in Gig Harbor North. Gonna put a map up here again so I can show you where that is at exactly. And this is the biggest lake in Gig Harbor for sure. It's actually 49 acres worth of space. I was gonna say land, but it's water, right? And you can actually water ski on it. There are many homes on the lake with their own docks and things like that. There is a public boat launch, and they stock it with rainbow trout also, and it's open for fishing from the 4th Saturday in April all the way through October 31st. And they stock it, like I just said, and a lot of water ski activities, and of course, all the paddleboarding and kayaking and swimming and everything that goes along with all the freshwater activities that you can imagine. But this is the one lake in Gig Harbor where if you got a ski boat or a wakeboard boat, this might be a good spot for you. One more thing to add about Crescent Lake, as far as the real estate side goes, and I normally don't throw real estate into these videos, but I do on this little part. These are going to be the most expensive waterfront homes in Gig Harbor. It's just the most desirable lake to live on if you want a waterfront home on fresh water. And so there's some really nice, pretty big homes with private docks, really nice yards, things like that. They're nowhere near the price point of waterfront on the Puget Sound. I mean, that's a whole different level. But when you compare them to the other lakes in Gig Harbor, this is going to be pretty substantially more expensive than those. But still, like I said, way cheaper than being on Puget Sound for sure. And so you just get really nice homes in a nice setting with your own dock on many of the properties. And I'm kind of a water ski wakeboard kind of a guy if I were to choose any activity. So I would probably choose this lake for myself. That's just me. Some people like the quiet of the non-motorized lakes or the 5-mile-an-hour wakes where you can only have a trolling motor. And those are certainly more peaceful and have their attractions as well. So not trying to sway you in any way. I'm just throwing my little 2 cents in for whatever it's worth. So let's switch it up a little bit. We're gonna now cross the Pretty Bridge and we're gonna go over towards the Key Peninsula. And we're actually gonna step outside Gig Harbor right into Kitsap County. And it's because it's the next closest lake. There's a couple more lakes that are addressed Gig Harbor, but they're actually further away. Anyway, this is Horseshoe Lake. Again, I'm gonna show a map of kind of where it sits. Horseshoe Lake is not in Gig Harbor. It is just over the county line into Kitsap County. But it's a pretty cool spot. Again, they have a public boat launch. They have ball fields and picnic areas and campgrounds, and they actually have a real camp for kids to go to with a roped off swimming area and the whole 9 yards. So it's open from late April all the way until October. During the winter months, it shuts down and you're not supposed to have really any access to it. But anyway, Horseshoe Lake, and right across the street from Horseshoe Lake is a little public golf course called, what do you know, Horseshoe Lake Golf Course. So it's a pretty cool spot actually. The lake is actually fairly large. It encompasses 39 acres. Crescent Valley Lake, Crescent Lake, not Crescent Valley Lake. Crescent Valley is where Crescent Lakes actually sits. So Horseshoe Lake is 39 acres. Crescent Lake was 49 acres. So it gives you a little relation. And anyway, it's just another option that's pretty close. Again, public boat launch, but I really couldn't find this. And I don't think you can have like high-speed boats on it. I think it's just like trolling and fishing and swimming and things like that. So anyway, another option for you of freshwater activities really close to Gig Harbor is Horseshoe Lake. The last 2 lakes that we are going to talk about are Lake of the Woods and Lake Holladay. And the reason I put those together is they're really, really close to each other. I mean, they're just a stone's throw away. And they're further out than even Horseshoe Lake. They're a little further out on the Key Peninsula. These are the last 2 lakes I'm going to talk about. There's going to be some more freshwater stuff the further you go down the Key Peninsula, but then you're really getting outside of Gig Harbor. Even these are kind of outside Gig Harbor, even though they have a Gig Harbor mailing address. So first, let's talk about Lake of the Woods. Lake of the Woods has a community around it of around 300 homes. And this is a pretty modest community. It's very affordable when you start talking about prices as compared to like downtown Gig Harbor or Gig Harbor proper. Part of that is because you are a 15-minute drive out, and when you cross that Pretty Bridge, there are some traffic issues that come during mainly rush hour. If it's not rush hour, it's pretty much fine. But rush hour, you can run into some traffic issues, and we're not talking Seattle type traffic issues or big city stuff, but there are some delays in that. But pretty modest and a very affordable community. And again, it offers a freshwater lake, which is really peaceful and gets really nice and warm in the summertime. So, you know, swimming, paddleboarding, kayaking, those sort of things, fishing out there as well. And then there's all sorts of trails, and you're outside of the city, so you're more into the woods, not heavy woods. I mean, it's kind of rural residential, if you know what I mean. So plenty of places where you can get away from the people and go on a little hike on some trails and things like that. So it's just a really cool spot. And Holladay Lake, or Lake Holladay, I should say, is literally just, barely north of there. So this leads us into Lake Holladay, which is the last one that we're going to talk about today. And again, we're going to put some maps up here so you can see where Lake of the Woods was, right there. And then just barely north of that is Lake Holladay. And Lake Holladay, it's actually got a gated community, a private community on the lake there. So you have to go through a gate, have a passcode, get clicked in, whatever it may be to get in. And again, it's just a smaller, freshwater, really peaceful, quiet lake that has all of the quiet lake attractions to it, right? But what is nice about it is the gated community. So if you're looking for something a little more private, or maybe what you feel is maybe a little more secure just because of the gated entrance, this might be a good spot for you to look at. And again, you know, the summertime, it's a shallow freshwater lake it gets nice and warm and swimming, and there's many homes on the water that have their own little floating docks and things like that. So it's a really cool, nice little spot. Got some pictures of all the lakes for that matter here for you. And so that is Lake Holladay. All right, everybody, that is it for this one. That is some of the lakes in and really close to Gig Harbor. Again, my name is Darren Rivers. I am the Northwest Realtor. This is Living in Gig Harbor. My information's there. Please feel free to reach out at any time. I would love to help you in any way, be a resource for you, just help you learn about Gig Harbor and answer any questions that you may have. I've lived here a long time, and I know it pretty well. So until the next one, and I'm sorry, this one, there's been quite a gap with the holiday season and everything like that. So I'm gonna try to be more consistent on these, and feel free to reach out anytime. Thumbs up, please. Take care.